Welcome to Gene and Mike do the New York Times crossword.
Hi, I'm Jean.
And I'm Mike. And today we are doing the crossword for Thursday, July 4th, 2024. So, did you do the crossword?
I did do the crossword.
And was it an enjoyable crossword?
It was a loud crossword because there were fireworks going off while I was doing it.
Oh, I see. Okay. And did those fireworks help inspire you as far as the theme is concerned?
You know, they didn't.
Oh, okay.
I actually got through the whole crossword and solved it and still didn't quite understand the theme. But eventually I figured it out.
Really? Okay. I did not figure it out. And to be fair, I think if you were a non-American, it might have been a little bit harder to understand. And based on how I pronounced certain words, that also did not help as I was trying to suss this all out.
That was my problem too. So anyway, let me talk about the theme.
Okay.
There were 5 themed clues that had asterisks by them, so you knew they were themed. And also, I believe, let me just check. Yeah, they had squares that were shaded.
Yes.
The last squares in each one of the theme clues were shaded, and they had absolutely nothing to do with one another, but I'll go ahead and read them anyway. 7 across was one of 32 in London, which was borough. 19 across was teacher in a dojo, which was sensei.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I always thought that was sensei, but it's sensei.
Sensei.
Mm-hmm. And then we had 39 across, home to the Gonzaga University, and that was Spokane.
Right.
And then we had 55 across, environs, which was milieu.
Mm-hmm.
And then finally the last one, which was the last across in the puzzle, 67 across, drawn out story of travel woes. And that was Odyssey, which was kind of an unusual clue for that answer, but I guess it makes sense.
Yep.
But then the revealer, which was also kind of unusual because it was a down clue and it went the whole length of the puzzle 2 down. And the answer to that was get ready or what to do upon hearing the ends of the answers to the starred clues. So if you say the ends of those starred clue answers and you say them as you would say them in the word they were in, you get say, can, you, see. Borough, sensei, Spokane,
Sensei. Mm-hmm.
milieu, Odyssey. So, say, can you see? So the answer to 2 down was hold on to your hat. Because when you hear those words, they are the beginning of the Star-Spangled Banner. If you are wearing a hat, you are supposed to take it off.
Right.
And hold on to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So that was the theme, and it was an appropriate theme for the 4th of July.
Dollop of patriotism there.
A little, I always say cryptic. I don't know if that's the best word for this or not.
Obscure.
Certainly out there where we don't go very often.
Right. Well, it was interesting because I got through this crossword fairly expeditiously. I did not have much of a problem anywhere in the grid.
Yeah, I got done with it fairly fast.
And then I'm like, okay, I was expecting a rebus because it was Thursday, and we often have rebuses on Thursday. So it's just like, okay, no rebus, no major problem areas. Oh, but they have an entirely different puzzle for me to try and figure out here. And I feel like I sort of failed at the crossword because I simply did not see what was going on there. I think
a Canadian, perhaps you are not familiar with the first words of the Star-Spangled Banner.
Well, actually, I'm not familiar with the concept of hold on to your hat. I've gone to so few public events where that happens that I just read that and I'm just like, it did not register.
So like when you attend graduation ceremonies and they play the Star-Spangled Banner, do you not take your cap off?
I generally don't have a hat, so...
Don't you wear a cap and gown?
Oh. Like at a graduation.
Yes,
Oh, I see. Like at a graduation that I participate. Well, it's been a long time since I've actually participated in a graduation. I have a knack of being able to get out of those. Let's see. We may need to remove that from the podcast. Oh, hello, Chancellor. Glad you're listening. And
it's interesting when I would go to those graduation ceremonies when I was a professor. They would always say, "Men, remove your hat." Well, of course, no men in the audience were removing their hats. So that meant all the male faculty and the male students were removing their hats. And I'm like, why? Just the men, And so I removed my hat. And then all of the women in my department removed our hats because it was like, why is it just the men that have to? But
is this standard that they would play the Star Spangled Banner at every graduation?
They do at a state university.
Okay, so...
Or at least my state university.
I simply don't remember. Does that include your most recent one in Missouri?
Boy, now I can't remember. If, again, I didn't go to a lot of those graduations.
You too had the knack?
So...
Congrats. No, I did not. I don't think I've been to a graduation where that was an issue.
Really?
I think that's so. And when I go to I rarely go to sporting events, and so I was just totally oblivious. Anywho, and the other thing that was.
So that's not a thing in Canada? You don't have to take your hat off when they play Canada?
I think we're supposed to put another one on. You were supposed to put on a toque.
Yeah,
I believe.
I was going to say a toque or one of those
that's
with
right.
the flaps.
But compounding my problem was when I read these words, I looked at OUGH and thought, like tough.
Oh.
And then I thought, for Spokane, I read it as cane.
Yes,
And I simply did not put it together. Mm-hmm. So, but I got everything else in the grid filled out, so there is that.
So your streak is not broken.
My streak is not broken, but it feels like it's broken, or at least it's been diminished somewhat. But cheering me up was 4 down. Blank Tam, Australia's favorite cookie, the Tim Tam.
Tim Tam, yes.
I just love that, and I wonder if that's for any relation to the Timbits.
Oh, no, that's Canadian.
I know that is, but it's a Commonwealth country. Perhaps, they've sort of made their way across.
Perhaps.
Listeners, you should know that Tim Hortons is probably more common in Canada than McDonald's and Subway put together are in the U.S. It's like on every street corner, it's mandated that there be a Tim Hortons.
That's right. And they make great coffee and good muffins,
yes.
Good donuts.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we would love to have them as a sponsor, but since they don't have any, they have almost no chain presence in the United States. No. I don't know if they're going to be rushing to do that. Mm-hmm.
But their donut holes are called Timbits.
Yes.
And they are quite popular.
Yes, delicious.
And we once went to a hockey game. I will never forget this. We went to a hockey game, and in between two of the periods of play, a bunch of tiny, tiny little people came out on the ice.
I believe we call them kids, by the way.
Yeah,
tiny people, kids. Yes.
And played hockey. And of course, they were falling down and doing all kinds of crazy things. But they called them the Timbits.
Yes.
I will never forget the Timbits.
Yeah. Let's see. What was interesting in this crossword? 7 across, one of 32 in London. I looked at the number of letters and the number of squares available to me and thought, streets. And I thought, there must be more than 32 streets in London.
Yes.
So it turned out to be, and of course it had to be singular, one of, so it would have been street, which wouldn't have fitted.
That's right.
The one directly beneath that, 15 down, name in an Oscars envelope, e.g. I went for nominee.
Oh.
Because that person would have been nominated.
Yes. They were the winner.
That's right.
Went for a winner, but that didn't fit.
Which is why the answer was awardee.
Awardee. Yes.
And then the one below that, to complete my trifecta of mistakes here, sustained oneself with, I had dined on. If you eat, yes. Right? I mean, you're sustaining yourself, but it was lived on.
That's right. That's right.
One
I got right away was 16 across. Stuck waiting. in limbo.
Yes.
Yeah, that surprised me that I got that one because the one above it, like the architecture of the Alhambra, I was like, And I put in Persian, which was wrong. It was Moorish, and I knew that. I used to teach that.
Really?
but it looks kind of like a Middle Eastern castle with the onion domes, and it's Moorish architecture from northern Africa.
So where is Alhambra? I should know that, but I don't.
It is in England.
It's in England?
Yes. I want to say it's in Brighton.
Oh, really?
It's not in London.
Okay. Fascinating.
One of the kings, that was kind of his pleasure palace. He built it.
I see.
And when he wanted to get away from London, he would go to Alhambra.
Huh. Which was Brighton.
I think it was,
near
Brighton.
Sounds a little less exotic when you describe it as Brighton. Let's see here. 25 down I thought was a little bit tricky. It was 2 out of 10. And so I thought it was going to be odds, but I couldn't do anything with odds. Turned out to be pinkies.
Pinkies, yes.
That was amusing. And then 33 across, I had to dig for this, played Here Comes the Airplane with Spoon-Fed.
Right.
That was good. 47 across. What was that?
Oh, yeah, that was funny.
They're older than seniors. And I thought it was going to be, at first I had grads, but it was alums.
Alums, right.
I mean, technically, as soon as you graduate, you're no longer a senior.
That's correct. And you technically are an alum.
I suppose mid-handshake, you are both simultaneously an alum and a grad.
Oh. I liked 62 across. I got that right away, but I thought it was an interesting clue. Superlative for a quiche or frittata. Eggiest.
Yes.
I wonder if that's a premiere or a debut.
I wonder if that's a word.
Well, I've never heard that word, eggiest, but I guess it could very well be a word.
I don't think that that's a debut. I think that I have heard that before because it's one of those words that sort of sticks with you. It has shown up 2 times. Yes, that's right. I remember it from December 14th.
Oh, you who always says, I have no memory.
December 14th, 2021. Like the richest souffle. It just...
Okay.
It just somehow made a deep, lasting impression upon me.
Eggiest.
Or I did like the word.
Me too.
Let's see. Another clue that I found amusing, geographical locale, whose name resembles a tractor when written in upper and lowercase. This is 38 across. And the answer was Ohio.
Yeah, it does. It does, because the O is the big
which
wheel in the
O
back.
there?
The first O is the big wheel in the back, and then the H looks kind of like the seat that that you would sit on, and then you have the I with the dot that kind of looks like on old tractors, they would have a little thing that smoked like a little chimney where smoke would come out, and then the O is the smaller front wheel. So yeah, it does look like a tractor.
Okay, I'm still looking at it here.
It's all in capitals here, but
I know that. Yes,
but if you looked at it in upper and lowercase, as the clue said.
I think if I looked at it in upper and lowercase and had superimposed upon that a picture of a tractor, I would agree that it was then I would agree that it was a tractor because there'd be a tractor superimposed upon it.
That's right.
Let's see, 55 down. Never heard of this. The Mediterranean appetizer, the mez. Mez?
Yes, I never heard of that either. Or maybe it's meze.
I don't know. So, let's see. And I ended up at 31 across, Six Flags coaster with a Spanish name. The answer turned out to be El Toro.
That's correct.
But it crossed 32 down, and 32 down was Dawning Sounds. And I had ahs, A-H-S, as in ah. But it was dawning as in oh.
Yes.
So because I looked at that and thought, what's El Tara? And then
El Taro.
yeah, you're right. El Taro, yes. Isn't that what they used to kill ants?
Or maybe named after the plant, the starchy
The taro,
plant.
right. It's either a an anticide or a plant of some sort.
Starchy plant.
Mm-hmm.
That's usually the clue. Starchy plant. Taro.
So anyways, it turned out to be O's, and that's where I got the solve. So
Very good.
this was a very interesting crossword by Adam Vincent.
Very good, Adam.
I think it deserves 5 squares on the Jam
I
Sierra
enjoyed
scale.
it, yes. And that theme was pretty remarkable.
All right. Well, we are unanimous in this. All right. Well, that's it for today. Happy July 4th, everyone.
Yes.
Remember to take proper precautions if you're setting off fireworks. And we will be back again to talk about tomorrow's crossword tomorrow.
Bye-bye.